And I had a lot of crafts going on the kitchen counter. While I was out of town camping this weekend.
Oh, did I not leave you any?
I just took a little tiny bit.
Okay.
While I was gone this weekend, my sweet wife decided that she was going to move all of my crafting garbage from the kitchen table to my office. Totally legit, right?
Yeah.
But I lost the cutout. I don't know where it is. She obviously didn't throw it out on purpose, but somehow in the shuffle it got misplaced. So I cut another one out because I had several on that sheet. Cut another one out. Went to iron it on my hat. Just not working. I don't know.
Is there a dog at the end of the story?
No. So then I look.
Yeah.
I didn't take the backing paper off of the iron-on, but now it's fused completely to the thing. So that was a wash. Problem is, those were both that size. Now I only had a little tiny guy like this.
Yeah.
So I only have a little tiny guy on here now. I didn't have any more options. That was it. I know. Feels like a waste of a $2.99 hat.
Yeah. Well, we should explain. This is about the bet that we lost. We lost ridiculously and completely and utterly.
Hey, Rob.
Andrew Bauman.
Let's get into our little bet with the Texas Craft Brewers Guild.
Yeah.
So it wasn't an utter, complete, and total loss. What are you talking? It's like you were standing at the plate and just whiffed all of your swings.
No, I don't want to suggest. I don't want to, and I don't even know. Maybe I should check see if I use the right grammar. Like it's not our. We did not lose the baseball game. Arizona is a wildly beautiful place, brimming with over 100 brewing companies. I'm Rob Fulmer, the Executive Director of the Arizona Craft Brewers Guild. I'm joined by Deputy Director Andrew Bauman. Together we cover the state, bringing you the best of what's happening at our breweries and beyond. Welcome to Arizona Beer Frontier. We did not lose the baseball game. We did not lose the World Series. We lost our bet. It's different.
That's right.
Maybe all the rooting in the world wouldn't have changed anything. Right? Maybe
I didn't even watch a single game. Did I not root hard enough?
Yeah, no. See, people are going to say, "Oh, the reason they lost is
because we believe in watch the game.
We believe in supernatural forces, even though we don't. We're superstitious, but we're not. We're religious, but we don't tie the superstition, the actual, literally. Oh, that's fucking crazy. That happened. Like, no, we don't.
Wild. No.
So I take these. We did it in fun. I take these things seriously, like right.
What do you mean seriously?
Because we did some videos. We tried to poke at Texas. They didn't really poke back that too much.
No, just a little low key in the comments.
Yeah. But that's really what I wanted. I wanted us to talk a little bit more about our organizations, our beers. But the series went really quick. Even though it could have gone 7, it's just hard to really ramp up. So I know they were between some things, so I get it. But I think I've lost every one of these bets that I've taken. Suns, Bucks.
Are they usually sports related? Because that's
Cardinals.
Past performance.
No, we can't do that. Stop doing that. Come on, man.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are experiencing technical difficulties. Please stand by.
This camera cannot.
Is it recording? Yeah. All right.
How does this? No, wait. How does it say the battery?
We will return to our regularly scheduled program momentarily. Please stay tuned.
Oh, we can start over. I'm going to say there was some gold in there you're missing if you start over. We'll never be able to get it back. Hey, John Buford was camping this weekend.
How'd that happen?
I don't know. Was he at the event?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Well, no, see, they went to, maybe not this weekend, they went to Page Springs as part of their terroir thing.
Ah, that's it.
They had a field trip.
Right, right.
So, take 2.
Good one.
Yeah.
Hey, Rob.
Andrew Bauman.
We look very nice in our hats.
We lost a bet. And that's why we're wearing these hats. The bet was the World Series. We lost the World Series. We did.
You did not lose the World Series.
You're right.
We lost the bet.
The
that
team
the Diamondbacks would win.
Our regional team.
My geographically located group of
our millionaires
oh, you don't even know
who claim regionality based on a contract.
Yeah. I mean, as long as that contract and then another one comes.
We did not prevail in our bet with the Texas Craft Brewers Guild.
Yes, our bet was that the Arizona Diamondbacks would win the World Series, and they did not.
Right.
The Texas Rangers were victorious.
And we have to send them beer, which we will, but we wanted to make sure that we had the second part, which I feel is the most important part, is to publicly represent that we lost this bet. And we did so. I looked for, first of all, we couldn't get anything from Texas. Go figure here.
Yeah, there wasn't any merch on the shelves at Walmart for Texas.
And I just really wasn't down for automatically paying $30 for a hat or T-shirt.
No.
Because it said World Series on it.
Yeah. Oof.
So, and they don't really change their design very much. Rangers.
No. It's nice.
Just a T.
It's always been that way since I was a child, I think.
And you can't get all the fun colors anymore. I don't know what's going on. I think just like the Diamondbacks scheduled a Guns N' Roses concert on the first day of what would be the playoffs a long time ago. I think Texas probably also
they did that this year with Pink.
Yes. I'm guessing that Texas probably was like, yeah, we're kind of low on stock, but we'll reorder next year.
We'll just kick through it. It's fine.
So, yeah. So we looked through and this is what we decided upon.
Yes, we crafted.
Yes. So I don't have I'll have to show a picture of your Peagle hat. So we right now we're both wearing
Nolan Ryan and
Robin Ventura.
The fight of all fights.
Was one of the Robin Ventura was hit by a pitch, charged the mound. He's 20 years younger than Nolan Ryan.
Nolan Ryan was like 56 when this happened.
Hits him with 6 solid haymakers. There was blood. There was blood on any.
Yeah. I mean, Nolan Ryan's famous bloody picture was not from this. It was from when he got hit by a ball in the face and then just kept playing, even though his nose was gushing blood.
Anyway, so we have these hats, and we have the Peagle hat.
Yeah.
And
there's limited edition.
Yeah. Well, when I get mine, still coming, and I wear it, someone else is going to point out, like, this look like the Texas Rangers. Like, well, we have full.
Yeah. You can represent the Texas Rangers in the most niche way we want.
So I didn't know this. First of all, as you know, like a lot of teams have been following these trends. There was like the NFL did this unicolor thing. I think they call it color guard, where they just wore one color. And I'm not sure if there was anything behind that other than money grab. There are obviously the Los Valley or El Valley. The Suns changed their name to the Valley, and then they changed it to Spanish. Everyone's going away from, because like it was kind of dumb when they were recognizing Hispanic heritage teams that they would just put Los in front of their name, like Los Dodgers. I'm like, come on, that's dumb.
Well, that's because there's not a translation for Dodgers. It's a name.
Yeah, but you can get creative, which they have.
Los Jaywalkers? Is that what the Dodgers are?
Well,
essentially,
I guess it. it bears a discussion about what the origin of the team's names were. So we get back to the Rangers. So I actually, thought about actually wearing a actual Texas Ranger hat where the proceeds would go to the Texas Rangers
Foundation.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah. But I didn't want to wait for 2 weeks for shipping. I want to get this thing done, right? I do like this hat. I'm going to wear this hat more than the bat. I'm fond of it. Anyway, one of the other movements was City Connect, where you celebrate the city, right, not the team. Which that's kind of sometimes it's a head scratcher. But the team, the Dallas Cowboys, the Texas Rangers. I don't know about the Mavericks.
Milwaukee Brewers.
I'm just saying in this particular. I don't know where the Mavericks played. Did they also play in Arlington?
No, I think they play in Dallas.
Okay,
I don't know.
But the Cowboys and the Rangers play in Arlington. So when they did the City Connect thing, the first year they did the Dallas skyline, and the city of Arlington people are like,
they got all pissed off.
We're not Dallas.
Yeah.
And so my understanding, according to Texas Monthly Magazine, this is how deep I went in this rabbit hole. They sat on all that product. They didn't sell any of it because they were so upset about it. So they went back to the drawing board, and you might have seen the 421 hats. That was the first game played in Arlington. So there was that piece on there. And then they wanted to somehow incorporate Dallas, Fort Worth area in some way. I mean, that's where all the people fucking live, right? Like, it's not like Arlington is doing anything but housing a stadium and collecting a lot of tax money.
Right. Oh, there's also restaurants.
Yeah. And tax money from that.
Yeah.
So they said, well, there was a team here called the Dallas Eagles, and there was a team in Fort Worth called the Fort Worth Panthers. So they made a Panther Eagle, and they call it a Peagle. And so you had that hat. I'll show that hat on the video on YouTube. But yeah.
And you have one coming. Yeah.
Yeah. And I also have a bow tie.
And it is a panther with eagle wings.
Yes.
It's a very noble creature.
Yes. And I went and looked at all of the low A, high A, triple A, 4A baseball teams. Learned a few things. One, their 3A team, the Round Rock Express. They were the 2022 Texas League champions. And this year, the Texas League championship went to the Amarillo Sod Puppies.
The Sod Puppies.
Which is the Diamondbacks farm team.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, isn't that crazy? Crazy. So...
I know for a long time the El Paso Diablos were first they were Milwaukee Brewers AAA team, and then they were the Diamondbacks AAA team. I wonder what's the deal is now. Why do those move around so much?
I think it's based on gate and marketing. If you can't make it work in a small town, and they move up too. They can be moved up from single A to double A.
Sure.
So on. But it's all about, because here's the thing. One of our Diamondbacks farm teams is the Hillsboro Hops. Mm-hmm. They're not even the AAA team.
Right. Short season single A.
Yeah. Right. But they sell a ton of merch.
So much marketing. It's amazing.
Yeah. So, we'll see if that elevates them at some point.
When I lived in Boise, my beautiful wife was the hospitality manager, I guess you could say. She ran all the food and beverage for a short season single A, the Boise Hawks, and it was an H instead of an A like the Angels. It was the Angels farm team, and all of the merchandise looked just like an Angels, except it was an H instead of an A. It's very neat.
Anyway, that's the bet.
Well, let me tell you a little something about nothing. The Milwaukee Brewers lost their manager yesterday. It's very upsetting. I'm very upset with baseball right now. Nothing good happening.
Yeah. Yep.
I like that guy.
He was a Diamondback too.
Yeah. In the winning team.
Yeah.
Man.
So.
Shit all.
There's a lot of people who like
Tottenham Hotspurs got destroyed yesterday. Dallas Cowboys lost on Sunday.
This is why it's not a beer podcast.
This has been a very bad sport. The only 3 teams that I almost kind of watch all got crapped on.
Yeah. And, I was going to make some hay about the fact that there's not a lot of Arizona craft beer in the stadium. There isn't, but our friend John Lane, who happened to be at the game, took some pictures and had Mother Road's Tower Station. What else did he post? A picture of the shop, church music.
Makes sense. I only saw the Tower Station one.
Yeah. One other brewery. So, I mean, it was possible to pay probably $25 a 60-ounce beer, I would guess. I don't know.
I hope not.
Yeah. So, that's the bet. So,
Okay, so we're back to the bet. And we have to send them a case of beer.
Yes.
Where are we going to send that? They don't even live near each other. We're just going to randomly send them like 7, 7, 7, and
I
then
don't
drink
know.
3.
I was going to, I don't know. They don't, I don't have a big enough ego to suggest that they're listening to the show, but if they are, we'll get a hold of them. If they have some sort of event coming up or whatever, like I might fly down for it. Or
fly out there, deliver.
Yeah, or I might say, hey, meet me at the airport because I'm leaving your state because I don't like that airport. Ugh. Your airport sucks. If we bet on airports, I'd bet on our airport, 100%.
Love Field?
Fair. No. I'll be honest, I don't think I've ever been to that. I've flown on Southwest occasionally, but I don't think I've ever been on that. So
I've been there a lot. Remember, I went to college there, so
yeah.
I've been to a lot of Texas.
So tell me about your weekend, Andrew. We had different pathways.
I don't know. My brain is so full right now with all this Texas Ranger stuff. I don't even know if I can get any. Okay, I'll work on it. So I went camping. Oh, my buddy Nick Reyes, he works for Grand Canyon Brewing and Distilling Company. He grew up in the same neighborhood that Nolan Ryan lived in.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, his grandma's house was in that neighborhood. So when they would do like little barbecue at the park, Nolan Ryan would always buy the meat and people would bring their smokers and yeah, you had to meet Nolan Ryan a bunch of times.
Right on.
I just post baseball, but yeah. Okay, good. We went camping up near Strawberry.
Okay.
And it was the second time we went to about the same place. There were like 2 little turnouts off. It's dispersed camping, so it's not a real campground. There's no toilets. There's no anything. Just like someone has driven there, and so you can drive back in there. And there's a little cleared area.
Someone will put a fire scar in there. And
yeah, there's a couple of fire rings made out of rocks.
Right.
It's right on the edge of the rim. It is so freaking cool. Like, amazing. And while we were, Friday, got up there, hung out. Saturday, we went to the Nacho Beer Fest in Cottonwood. It was like an hour and 15-minute drive. Got to that brewing company. There were, Oso was there. Sedona Beer Co. was there. Grand Canyon Brewing Company and Distilling was there. Belfry Brewing Company, Smelter Town, and that brewing were all serving beers.
nice.
It was very lovely. Got to hang out with people I don't see quite often. So that was cool.
This is why I tell people this is the best thing about festivals is getting the mix of people and catching up and
Yeah. I mean, there are beer festivals that make sense for breweries to do and beer festivals that don't make sense. And I can see why this made a lot of sense for most of those breweries.
Right.
Oh, well, I mean, it's close, but I would imagine people from Cottonwood come to Phoenix on the regs, yeah?
It seems like people come here for sporting events, concerts, doctor's visits. I don't know. I mean, this is just on the general. Like, if they have family here, that's a whole other story that I don't know. But yeah, I'm sure.
Yeah. Okay.
I mean,
all of the northern Arizona breweries south of Flagstaff were represented. I don't know. Verde Valley could have been there. I had to drive through Camp Verde to get to Cottonwood.
Yeah.
But, you can't do everything. Again, like there's staffing issues. There's all kinds of stuff come up that you can't do every festival.
How were the nachos?
I didn't have any. Bonnie was so mad. She's like, how are the nachos? I said, I don't like nachos. They're messy. Yeah.
I saw a picture on the internet
of nachos, and they looked good.
It was a bowl of honey oat Cheerios or something like that with melted cheese and jalapenos, and it was like breakfast nachos. Yeah.
It was the Honey Bee food truck that was there, and they were making nachos. It's not a normal item for them, but
yeah,
that's funny that you had the honey nut Cheerios and it was the Honey Bee food truck.
No, I don't think it was. I think it was one of those
silly
like
thing.
This is food that is not aesthetic or food with threatening auras or something like that. The internet.
So that is what we did. Yeah.
Okay.
That was camping.
It was cold. Get down to the 20s maybe?
No,
High
45.
20s? Really? Okay.
Yeah.
It's a little colder in Flag, I understand. I wasn't there, but I had heard reports. So what did I do? I went to Canal Convergence.
Oh, on Friday?
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, kind of went there for a little bit. Well, first and foremost, we went to High Noon, which is Nobu Fukada. He used to run the Teeter House. I don't know if he was James Beard nominated for sure, but he has, basically there is sushi, there are small bites. It's just like this Japanese pub. And it is kind of spendy, but you don't have to commit to eating everything. Honestly, though, if I went there with a couple of dudes and we had unlimited resources, we'd probably order the whole menu 1 or 2 times over. You know what I mean? Like, oh yeah, let's we ordered the whole menu, let's do that again, kind of thing. It would be very spendy. But they had a couple of Wren House beers. They have a beer from 1912. On the sour side, I don't recall. I chose a Japanese beer of some sort. Wasn't something I recognized. It wasn't Kirin Sake Bombers or anything like that. It was really good.
Cool.
So and it's if you're coming from south of Scottsdale and you kind of don't really want to dip your toe into Old Town. And you're meeting people. It's right by the old Papago. It used to be the Papago Inn. Now it's a Sonder hotel, but it used to be where the old Papago was, in that area. And they tore that whole thing down. And the only thing that remains there, if you're a Papago resident or a denizen of Papago, is the Wells Fargo that's still there. That
on that
changed.
corner.
Yeah, that's just like, fuck you or Wells Fargo. We're not doing dick all. We're gonna literally block the entire corner from anyone seeing any of these businesses. Yeah. It's great.
That's the old model of banks. Yeah. There's a few of those still out there.
Yeah. Anyway, we did that, and then we went to Canal Convergence because they had the Pure Water Brews or the One Water Brews.
Pure Water Challenge.
No, that was the
mobile truck.
That was the mobile truck. This is the One Water.
All right.
Which someday we'll have a show on thoughts on that. We'll see, because there is a movement to allow. It's legal to take wastewater and turn it into drinking water. I guess there are some small things that would have to change for people to flip the switch 100%.
Legislatively, you mean?
Right. Mm-hmm. And they're working on that. And let me tell you, this is now all of a sudden a far right, far left way to divide people. And so, and it all goes back to, I don't trust the government. And they aren't really changing anything other than not pumping it into the ground. All the water methods are the same. All the treatments are the same.
This one is they do the extra UV light and additional layers of filtering.
For literally no other reason other than
because
right. But I'm tired of it because all of you guys that complain about this stuff go to Las Vegas and guess what? It's the same thing. Don't California the water. Like literally fuck off. Like we need water. Like, so if I'm going to like piss off a bunch of craft beer people about this, then don't drink beer anymore because we need water in this state. So you're going to get pulled into this whole government conspiracy bullshit. It's your choice. If you want to live in a world where everything is a conspiracy and you're the only smart guy in the room, then maybe do go live in Idaho or some other far-flung place.
Why are you banging on Idaho, dude? I love Idaho.
I don't know. I got Ted Kaczynski on the brain. Anyway.
Yeah. I wish that there was faster movement on making it mainstream, but like everything else, especially government related, it takes years and years and years for anything to change without private industry really pushing it. And private industry doesn't filter water. Government does. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, unless you're in that foothills place.
I guarantee if you get on the internet, like, Bill Gates is changing our water over. Like, I mean, literally.
That'd be wild.
How do you live like that every day?
If he was doing it, it'd be done so much better.
Can you imagine walking around thinking that everybody's always fucking against you? Like, this is, like, just grow up, man. Like, seriously.
All right, take a breath there, friend.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
I went there. Beers were wonderful, lovely.
Our good friends at Desert Monks Brewing Company make 3 beers regularly with direct reuse water.
Yep. Wilderness was there. Walter Station was there.
I think Wren House.
Wren House was there, yes. And there were some others on the bill. They might have been somewhere else. I just didn't have time to stick around and check the other ones. There was a couple others listed, and they could have been there, and I just missed it, or...
Well, it's a 2-day event, and you don't necessarily have to go to both.
It's true. Yeah.
I think Uncle Bear's was supposed to be there, too.
I don't know. That part is over. The art installation is still going on. So, we just dipped in, and then because we had to park in the Scottsdale Mall, we went to the mall. I went to the mall.
Oh, good job.
Didn't stick around. Got a Shake Shack shake, and that was it. So that was our Friday. And then Saturday was the Terroir Festival, which was hosted this year at Agritopia. So I got to hang out with Joe Johnston a little bit.
Agritopia in Gilbert, Arizona.
Yes.
It is a neighborhood with farming involved.
Right.
The farm's not that big, but it's enough to have a little store where they sell veggies and other miscellaneous knickknacks.
Yes. It was designed around celebrating the agrarian roots of Gilbert. And so there are a lot of things that they did 20 years ago.
Yeah.
When they started that.
I remember when kids were little.
Yeah.
Maybe 15.
They made a couple neighborhoods with shade trees, with
basements.
Basements. Very important part was putting porches in the front and having yards where they weren't 100% private, so none of this block wall nonsense. They wanted people to get to know each other, live together as a community.
And the houses are closer to the street. So there is a front yard, but it's like about as wide as this table.
Right. It's so you can watch the street, watch your kids play.
Talk to your neighbors while they're walking their dogs.
Exactly. Yeah.
It's great. It's like my neighborhood, except fancier.
It is. And so it was there. That place is, I saw some people who were just in my social media feed randomly like, it's so crazy here. Why is it so crazy? I don't know why I come to Gilbert all the way to Joe's Farm and Grill, and it's so crazy. Because there's 300 extra people there for a beer festival.
Oh, I was like, what's crazy? I don't understand. It's pretty chill. I go there all the time.
It's normally, probably. But when that thing let out, I'm sure there was a lot of people like, I need to eat some foods now.
The beer barn's down there.
Yeah, yeah. So the festival is about 12 or 15 breweries. And the theme is to make beer using grapes, or in one case, there was a brewery from Central Illinois, South Central Illinois, who made with actual grapevines. And it gave it sort of this woody, sort of tobacco sensation.
Sounds cool.
So let's see here. Ale Song, Crooked Stave. I talked to Chad Jacobson for a while. Dwindle Country Ales. I think that's what it was. Fair Isle Brew. They're out of Washington. Firestone Walker, Fox Farm Brewery, Garden Path Fermentation, Holy Mountain, Jester King, Little Fish. That's in Ohio. St. Adaris Rustic Ale, Scratch Brewing, the brewery, Yazoo Brewery, and Page Springs, and also their winemaker, who has a line of wines. We're pouring wines. There might have been one other winery. But you had to make these beers using these components, and they had to be within 100 miles of the brewery. And in some cases, someone said, "Oh yeah, it's like literally 25 yards from our brewery."
Yeah.
And I said, "You guys should have like closest to the pin, like your mash tun to the nearest plant."
Oh well, I think that the brewery at Torito Farm would win that one.
Well, they would have to use grapes from that. Yeah. So yeah, no. There is an opportunity perhaps for Arizona brewers to get involved. This seems like this was something that had some gas before the pandemic, and
it is a moving fest.
Yes.
So it won't be back here in Arizona next year, but it could be some other years.
Talking to the guys there, they were suggesting that this was going to be their thing.
Oh, cool.
So I don't know. There are obviously complications with the logistics of this. The finances do not favor anybody in particular at all on this kind of a festival because of it's not a festival you just send beer to. It's you commit a couple people. They did some sort of field trip out to Page Springs. They visited Sonagua. So is there an opportunity for a larger thing? I would assume. But I should also mention Keeping Together was there, which is
Yes.
Yeah, I'm drawing a blank.
I got it.
Avery.
Hold on. Avery Swanson.
Yes.
God, that was
She
hard.
was there. I talked to her for a while. They are months away from opening. They in Santa Fe. So
She really loves Santa Fe.
she does. I congratulated her on it. That was a great choice for her. We did obviously want them to come here, but hey, everyone's got to be happy, right? And I said, well, history bears out that you made the right choice based on the fact that it was really disgustingly and brutally hot, and I don't see how that's going to change very much. And hopefully everything's great in Santa Fe. So, but you know, we could do some fun. We could do some fun Santa Fe Flagstaff thing. We could maybe take the Amtrak.
Do an Arizona, New Mexico collab fest. That sounds amazing.
So we'll see. I'm very excited about that.
Yeah.
So that was that. I like I said, I talked to Joe Johnston, met some folks from friends of friends that work at Ninkasi that were just happened to be there. Tried to talk to as many people from the brewery there. It didn't seem like the kind of thing where I would just interrupt people and do a podcast thing, although I had all my stuff. It was small and it was kind of a little bit under the radar, so probably keep it that way.
We're definitely doing that right now. Were Mel and Jeff there?
No, they were not. No. And of course I said, yeah, we'll just go there for a little bit, but I stayed to the bitter end, and I ended up eating at Buck and Ryder, which was very much also expensive to eat at when you're had a few beers in you.
And you're not really enjoying the entire experience.
I talked to the Quill folks were there, and so I talked to all of them and Scott Hendricks and his wife, and I found out he and his wife had their first date, and they made out in front of Casey Moore's.
Great. Now everyone knows.
I know. It's great. What a great story. And I think you should have called earlier, Scott. called her back earlier. So yeah,
That's what went down.
that was Saturday.
Cool.
Sunday. So Sunday I didn't do anything because on Monday I had to get scoped the other direction. So I have had a colonoscopy now and an endoscopy. So couldn't really drink any
Jeez.
liquids on Monday.
This is so awful.
No, it's actually not bad. Other than the procedure's relatively uneventful. You do get put under. It is very relaxing. It's hard to. It was harder these last. I've had several of these because of family history and all this other stuff years ago, and I just haven't been on it. I think it's important. But it's taking me longer to shake off the anesthesia than it has in the past because you're just kind of groggy the next day as well, in my opinion. Anyway, didn't seem like it was. So like, I went to All Pierogis, which is near where I got the procedure, and you're not supposed to drink, but I always have a beer.
Oh boy.
And it kind of put me on my ass on the couch after I ate. So I had a bunch of pierogis, some smoked kielbasa dill pickle soup.
Damn.
So good. A Polish beer, a Worka Strong. They had like 10 beers there. And I'm like, I don't know. I don't recognize half of these. And I'm like, and all their porters, because porters are very popular. This is a Polish/Ukrainian restaurant. They're very popular, porters are. But they're all like 9-10%.
Oh.
So I was like, yeah, lay off that. Worka Strong was 6.4. It was a very fruity lager, little roasted greens. Excellent.
Huh.
It was like a fall. It was like all of a sudden like fall foods.
Yeah, I know
beers.
that All Pierogis place is so cool. I need to get over there.
Yeah.
I'm now planning my afternoon because I know I have a couple other things I have to do. Maybe that falls into the.
Yeah.
Anyways, great.
Yeah. So back to the thing. Like, listen, I started to get like really bad heartburn in college. And, I just muscled through it, never got it diagnosed. So did a lot of damage to my esophagus. So I have to stay up on it because it does create precancerous conditions in your esophagus. And it's controlled by omeprazole. You can get that over the counter now. So like it's very easy to self-treat yourself, but you never really know what damage you're doing. So these procedures are covered by your insurance typically, but if you don't have insurance, which a lot of us don't, it's, you're going to spend $1,000 or so, $2,000 maybe for each of these procedures, but it's super important to get it done every once in a while, especially if you have a history. And this is one of those things, the GERD, gastroesophageal reflux disease, is something I know a huge percent of people who drink craft beer have undiagnosed, walking around. Just because of of
what's in the beer
our lifestyle. Drinking late at night causes you to
burp.
Well, and also have things come up that you might sleep right through.
Yeah.
And you can do that while you're young, but at some point you get a herniated condition there, and that's when people mysteriously pass away in the middle of the night. So, yeah. I mean, you're talking more like people who are in hospice anyway. That's definitely how people go. So.
Wow.
Yeah.
Things Rob knows.
You got to take care of it. And like, I ignored it for another 5 or 6 years. So just telling everybody, if someone's hassling you about it, I'm hassling about it too. You should get it done. And that is my public service health announcement.
Feels to me like it's time for a break. We're going to come back, do some beer news.
Okay.
And not necessarily just talk about our weekend. Okay. Thanks.
Hey, I talked about like health
Oh, yeah.
things,
No,
man.
you talk. Yeah, you did. You're doing PSAs. I love it.
All right. Was a bitter crisp symphony cold IPA. We talked about cold IPAs.
It's a
technique.
bitter, crisp symphony that's life.
Yeah.
Should I go on?
No.
All right.
Cold IPAs are a technique, less than a style, in my opinion.
Like kettle sour?
Kind
Okay.
of. Are they not? I mean, they're
Yeah.
just they're what? They're IPAs made with Kolsch yeast. Is that?
Or just lagered. I don't know. The difference between a cold IPA and an IPL, I can't.
Yeah.
The nuance is just too specific.
They
me.
they have bitterness and they have hop flavor, and that's why I just think they should be called IPAs. I mean, right?
I know what you're saying, for sure. I mean, it's annoying to me too.
Like if they were going to classify,
I just want to know what's going to be hazy and what's not.
Yeah.
I do want to know that difference.
and if they're going to classify things by how they taste, then they should just have an onion garlicky IPA category, a fruity, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
tropical fruit, citrus fruit,
right.
pine.
Yeah. Different.
Yeah.
Definitely. Yeah. Who cares how you make it?
Yeah.
And lactose, they should just be
Put in everything. It makes every beer style better.
no, it does not.
Okay.
It does not. So now I'm on this pills, and you're in a Citrusona. You had this La Ciudad.
La Ciudad.
Excellent.
Also great can art on that. I love that.
You also did something yesterday when I was trying to lay on the couch and recover.
Yeah. So I left the office, went to Sugar Bar in Chandler, Gilbert. I don't know.
Yes.
And Kyle was there. We had a real nice chat. He said, "Are you going over to Phantom Fox later?" And we got the industry opening night. And I was like, "Oh, I should. Thank you for the heads up," because I didn't know. And I was on Scooty. So I did that. I went over there. And everyone was there. It was great. Much high fives and hugs. The beer is phenomenal. I didn't have any pizza, but I saw the pizza coming out, and it looked incredible. Packed house, lots of fun. Got to talk with Val for a while. She's just so charming to talk with and so knowledgeable, and it's just great. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. Phantom Fox, downtown Mesa, right on the light rail.
Right. And this used to be in the space that was Desert Eagle.
Yes, and they said very much they didn't want it just to be like, oh, someone else took over Desert Eagle, and it definitely does not look like that.
I don't think that would have been possible just based on the physical transformation that people could see from the street.
Incredible, yes.
You would not necessarily know Desert Eagle was a brewery if you just walked by because they had that part hidden. They gutted the whole place, yes.
Yes, for sure.
They probably didn't even get a lot of value out of the fact that it was a brewery. I don't even think they used the
Remember
same
how
area.
Desert Eagle was long?
Yeah.
This is deep. So,
Right. They took everything on its axis and rotated it.
Yeah.
So I'm not even sure they got the advantage of using any of the drainage or any of the...
think so.
A little bit?
Yeah. Because it's the brewery itself is still in the back in the right corner. So I think so. But it was definitely a new floor. Like the whole floor was new.
Right. No, I'm seeing some pictures here, which if you're on YouTube, you will be able to see some of these pictures. Yeah, it looks like a good crowd. Sorry I couldn't make it. I hope to get there this week sometime.
I think their official grand opening is Friday.
Yeah. Okay.
That's a thing. That was great.
Yeah.
What else do we have in Arizona beer news? So we have Dillinger
Yeah.
becoming Mosaic Brewing Company, and the Dillinger brand assets going to Borderlands.
We didn't talk about this at all?
No.
I guess we haven't. Kind of.
We didn't do one last week.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
So that happened in Arizona beer this week.
Yeah. By the way, that talk with Luis It was one of our more popular ones right out of the gate. So
I can see why.
people don't like to listen to us.
Have
very
you
long.
met that dude? He's amazing.
People can tolerate a little bit of our off-topic bloviating, but maybe not.
Maybe not half of an entire show like we just did.
Or
Okay.
a full
That's
entire
fine.
show. Look at that.
So that is what's going on in Arizona beer right now. Is there? Oh, well, I mean, this weekend we've got Beer Research Institute with their 9-year anniversary. We've got Pueblo Vita with their 9-year anniversary. Popgo Brewing Company is doing Belgian Beer Fest
Yeah.
on Saturday. Saturday's a full day. I'm not going to get down to Tucson, though.
No.
Sad, but true. I do need to get down there next week, though. Our Black Friday sale for strong beer tickets is coming up, and I need to deliver their posters, coasters, check presenter inserts, and the regular strong beer posters. So
There's I guess we're gonna have to. It's Veterans Day weekend too.
on
That matters to
this
me.
Saturday is Veterans Day week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there'll be. I know a few veteran-owned places. I know there's some buy a pint for a veteran things going on. 1912 comes to mind. Grand Canyon comes to mind. Who did I see? I saw Wilderness was doing something as well.
They have a new buy a beer board up. I saw the other day when I was in there. Prepay
Yeah.
for a beer.
Right. There is something on a Sunday.
Well, I mean, Pueblo Vita's party goes from Thursday through Sunday.
No. Specifically, there is North Mountain has a
Oh, yes.
I looked at
North
my
Mountain
calendar.
Jazz Fest.
blues.
Okay.
Is it jazz?
No, it's blues.
Okay.
Yeah. Great.
Yeah. So there is stuff to do this weekend. This is something. It used to be that there wasn't much going on in the first couple weeks of November. But there was. So we'll talk about. When I was downtown for Canal Convergence, which was going on this whole week too, I guess. Scottsdale. There was a Dreamy Draw festival with some country and western acts.
That was sponsored by
Oscar Blues.
The Beast Unleashed.
Yes. So that was going on in the green of Scottsdale. What is it? Civic Center. So concerts going on.
It was in Scottsdale? I thought it...
No, it was in Scottsdale.
Oh.
It's called the Dreamy Draw Festival. It doesn't mean it has to be in.
Oh.
I don't know.
I thought it was going to be...
Have you heard of McDowell Mountain Music Fest? Which was in downtown Phoenix for... It still is, I think. I don't know.
I've heard of it. I went to it once, but that's while it was in Scottsdale.
Yeah.
Tempe? Was it in Tempe?
What?
McDowell Mountain Music Fest?
It's moved around. These things are very expensive to put on.
Oh,
And
so expensive. Wow.
it doesn't surprise me. If you are a brand in the alcohol space and you're lucky enough to be alcohol or liquor related, you're going to be probably fine because that's where the money is right now. But it'd be very hard for any brand smaller than Four Peaks right now to sort of sponsor anything like Oscar Blues did. It's just really expensive because then you got to pull in a major act or two to pull it off. I don't know, and there's a lot of people still wanting to do these smaller fests, and so I don't know what to tell them. It's hard. I mean, you know what the commitment level is for our own stuff, for our own survivability and well-being. It's rough. So celebrate these, enjoy these now, support them now. We've got Barrels, Battles, and Brews. I'm not saying all this coincidentally because I think it's probably already sold out, or it's close to it, or it's so close it doesn't even matter because they do a really good job of selling tickets all year and keeping it right sized. But this season here, because it's so late, is
Because
make or
the
break.
weather
Yeah.
finally broke.
This patio season for restaurants.
Yep.
And bars. Very, very important. I know there are some events coming up between now and, March where extension of premises licenses are happening at a slower rate, at least temporarily. I know a couple things had to be canceled because they weren't able to get them. Nothing land breaking, but like it just,
wow.
Yeah.
Because the DLLC is backed up?
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah.
Yikes.
Yeah. So enjoy
Well, we
these
also
things now.
had, speaking of Oscar Blues, they closed their Austin taproom and brewery facility.
Yeah, they did.
So that's about 100 jobs that location was responsible for, I guess. I don't know.
It's getting harder and harder to be regionally relevant and locally relevant at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
At the same time, we didn't talk about this, but the other half is moving a location to Chicago. That's what I understand. So contrary
Interesting.
to all that.
I mean, everything is, there's Oso buying new places and opening new places. There's other breweries that are also expanding, and then there are breweries that are closing. It's pretty amazing.
Well, we didn't talk about this either, but Minnesota, their THC beverages, apparently their guild.
Yeah, their law got all whack, and no one really paid attention to what was going through, and they just said, "Oh, weed should be legal," and they approved it. And yeah, it's got a lot of loopholes.
Yeah, so they in Minnesota they have THC beverages that are derived from hemp that is distilled, or is that a correct term?
No, I think they use enzymes and convert it.
Yeah,
From like
they basically take take hemp, which has a trivial to the government amount of THC, and they somehow extract all the THC and concentrate it into a beverage, and that's somehow been deemed legal at the state level and is sort of not run afoul of federal at this point. So there's that. They also, I guess we have to get Bob on next week from Minneapolis, Minnesota's guild director, that they can also possibly do this with alcoholic beverages, which is everyone's sort of like wondering about. Apparently, these non-alcohol THC products are hitting Illinois right now. So like, there's some huge tests coming up. Yeah, I'm
Wow.
sorry. This all happened over the weekend when I was in my groggy state. We should probably get Bob on and talk about it. But he says the decks are cleared for them to do for breweries to do these beverages. And it didn't really get into whether you could have alcohol and THC in, which would be a federal no-no. But according to him, from what I read, if that ever
if
gets
you're
green-lighted-
running a TTB brewery license, I don't know how you can put.
Well, so that's the argument, is that these are not ingredients that are agreed upon as generally safe.
Right. You have to have a formulary,
Right.
and they'll never approve a
I
formulary.
think what he's suggesting is that on the ground level, there is no roadblock, and should it ever become legal at the federal level. But he also said that breweries can make these products using their current equipment under their current licensing, maybe not having alcohol in it. I don't know.
Right. I've heard of that.
Yeah. I've had some people asking me about them and
Yes.
what's going on here. We had a hemp bill that passed, but no one's ever taken advantage of it. But I don't think this level of this is a kind of a thing to drop at the end of our podcast.
The loophole level
right, yeah.
is not quite there, like it was in Minnesota, or
I don't know.
like.
I don't know.
I mean, you could make.
At the same
There
time,
are THC beverages that are made in Arizona that are available at dispensaries
Right,
today.
right.
But you're saying they don't have to sell them at dispensaries; they can sell them at breweries.
well, that's what's happening in
In Minnesota.
yes,
Wow.
yes.
That's awesome. I
Yes.
mean, that's crazy.
And you know, fundamentally, I don't have a problem with it, except for we've come to enjoy alcoholic beverages for a long time, and the state you end up at is not always the state you want to be at. That's the case with any drug, right? But the timeline is
relatively constant. Like, you know how your body is going to react.
It's much more
linear.
Yeah. Yes. That's a great word. We just don't have enough experience. Even people who routinely have a
I mean,
THC pipeline in their lifestyle.
Yes.
Like it's
different strains, different delivery methods.
The delivery method is what I'm
huge.
talking about.
Yeah.
Because the social part of it we've taken the smoking thing out of our public social life.
Mm-hmm.
And we can debate about that. I think it's wonderful because I was tired of just smelling like, even though I didn't smoke, I was smoking. Just the fact that if it's going to fit into a food and beverage model, the effects take longer and are less predictable based on the medium, right?
Yeah.
So how do you manage if you're a traditional 2-drink minimum comedy club? How do you manage that someone's like, well, I don't want to buy anything there. I'm gonna wait in line and I'm gonna take care of myself, right? Like, so how do you charge for that? How do you adjust for that? Or then like you get in and you said, well, I do want something now. I ran into some friends. I want to do 3 shots and I want to also be part of their THC program. Like it's And like, so our breweries can say like, oh, we love this. Bear in mind, you also run a tap room. And so you have to contend with everything else that's coming in that happened before anyone arrived.
It's tough. And the comboing up alcohol and THC together has very unexpected results many times.
Yeah. So let's get Bob on.
All right. That sounds great.
We'll get Bob on, and then we'll get the legal group behind the recent state Supreme Court decision.
We have an interview with Doc from Pedal House tomorrow.
Oh, we do. Yeah, that's right.
Stuff.
Great.
All right. I think that pretty much wraps it up for today.
It does.
Oh, we can take a look at these
Phantom Fox.
super cool Phantom Fox stickers. Uh-oh. They're really small. All right. You can take a picture later.
Oh, look. I'm the fox. I'm Andrew. I'm also the fox.
Okay. Well, hey, thanks for the chat today, Rob.
Cheers. Learned some stuff.
Oh. Learned some stuff? What?
We learned some stuff.
Oh, we learned some stuff.
From each other.
Sometimes the beer finds you.
Yeah. Sometimes we learn some stuff.
It's not a beer podcast, it's a podcast about beer.
Exactly.
I did the whole thing.
Occasionally THC. Occasionally. Under controlled situations, occasionally THC. When we know what we're doing and we're not getting into a long event.
Right.
When we know we're not going to get tested.
If, for example, you're camping, you might indulge in THC a little more than you would if you weren't.
We don't get tested.
Tested?
Drug tested.
Right.
All right, I'm shutting it off.
I feel like I get tested constantly.